Are you trapped in mental chaos without even realizing it? This explosive video reveals the scientifically proven mental control techniques that high performers use, while most people remain stuck in destructive thought patterns. Discover why your mind is sabotaging your success and how to break free. Do you wake up feeling like your mind is already running a marathon before your feet hit the floor? Here's what researchers have discovered that will shock you. The average person has over 70,000 thoughts per day. And here's the kicker. 95% of them are the exact same thoughts they had yesterday. Most people are walking around in what psychologists call default mode. Basically mental autopilot, where your brain runs the same tired patterns over and over again. You think you're in control, but you're actually being controlled by unconscious mental habits that were probably formed decades ago. The truth is, while you've been scrolling through social media and complaining about your problems, there's been a revolution in neuroscience and psychology about how the human mind actually works, and most people are completely oblivious to it. Here's what's really happening in your brain right now. Your thoughts are literally rewiring your neural pathways every single second. But instead of using this incredible power intentionally, most people let their minds wander into worry, negativity, and mental chaos. Think about it. When was the last time you actually chose what to think about for more than 5 minutes? Most people can't even control their attention for 30 seconds without getting distracted, yet they wonder why their lives feel out of control. Today, I'm going to reveal the scientifically backed methods that high performers use to take complete control of their mental state. This isn't wishful thinking. This is based on decades of research from Harvard, Stanford, and other leading institutions. By the end of this video, you'll understand why most people struggle with mental clarity and exactly how to break free from that cycle. Let me tell you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. You are probably your own worst enemy when it comes to mental clarity. Research from the University of Pennsylvania shows that the average person engages in negative self-talk over 300 times per day. That voice in your head isn't helping you, it's sabotaging you. Every time you think I can't do this or I'm not smart enough, you're literally training your brain to believe it. Neuroscientists call this negative neuroplasticity. You're rewiring your brain for failure. Here's what most people don't understand about stress. It's not caused by external events. A study from Carnegie Mellon University found that it's not what happens to you that creates stress, it's how your mind interprets what happens to you. Most people have trained their brains to interpret neutral situations as threats. You know what's really disturbing? Research shows that people who constantly worry actually become addicted to the stress chemicals their brain produces. You become literally addicted to feeling anxious and overwhelmed because your brain has been conditioned to crave those stress hormones. And here's the part that will really upset you. Every time you pick up your phone and scroll mindlessly, you're training your brain to have a shorter attention span. Studies from Microsoft showed that the average human attention span has dropped from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. That is less than a goldfish. Most people spend their entire day in what researchers call continuous partial attention. Never fully focused on anything, always distracted, always scattered. Then they wonder why they feel mentally exhausted all the time. The brutal truth is that if you're not intentionally training your mind, you're unconsciously training it to work against you. And that's exactly what's been happening to millions of people without them even realizing it. Here's something that will blow your mind. Ancient cultures understood more about mental control than most modern people do today. While we've been chasing the latest apps and life hacks, we've forgotten techniques that have been proven effective for thousands of years. Buddhist monks have been practicing focused attention meditation for over 2,500 years. Modern neuroscience now proves they were onto something incredible. Studies using fMRI brain scans show that experienced meditators literally have different brain structures. They have more gray matter in areas associated with attention and emotional regulation. The ancient Stoics of Greece and Rome developed mental techniques that are now being validated by cognitive behavioral therapy. They understood that you can't control external events, but you have complete control over your response to them. Modern psychology just gave it a fancy name. Here's what's really fascinating. While ancient peoples were developing these mental disciplines, they didn't have the constant distractions we face today. They weren't fighting against smartphones, social media, and 24/7 news cycles designed to hijack their attention. Research from the Center for Mindfulness at UCLA shows that people who practice ancient mindfulness techniques for just 8 weeks show measurable changes in brain activity. The areas associated with stress and anxiety become less active, while areas linked to focus and emotional regulation become stronger. But here's what most people miss. These aren't just relaxation techniques. Ancient practitioners understood that controlling your mental state gives you power over your entire life experience. They knew something that modern neuroscience has now confirmed. Your thoughts literally shape your reality at a biological level. The Taoists talked about Wu Wei, effortless action that comes from mental alignment. Modern flow state research has proven this is a real neurological condition where performance increases dramatically while effort decreases. The problem is, most people today are so addicted to distraction and mental chaos that they can't access these natural states of peak performance that our ancestors took for granted. Let me share some research that will completely change how you think about your mind. Dr. Joe Dispenza's groundbreaking work shows that when you change your mental state, you literally change your gene expression. Your thoughts don't just affect your mood, they affect your biology at the cellular level. Studies from Harvard Medical School demonstrate that focused mental practices can actually change the physical structure of your brain in as little as 2 weeks. This is called neuroplasticity, and it means your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you think about most. Here's where it gets really interesting. Research from the Institute of Noetic Sciences shows that coherent mental states create measurable electromagnetic fields around the body. When your thoughts and emotions are aligned and focused, you literally emit different energy patterns. The HeartMouth Institute has conducted over 300 peer-reviewed studies proving that specific breathing and mental techniques can shift your nervous system from stress response to optimal function in under 2 minutes. They've measured this with sophisticated equipment. It's not theory, it's measurable science. Neuroscientist Dr. Rick Hanson's research reveals that you can literally install positive mental states in your brain through specific practices. He calls it taking in the good, deliberately strengthening neural pathways associated with confidence, calm, and clarity. Studies from Stanford University show that people who practice mental state regulation have better immune function, lower inflammation, and even longer telomeres, which means they age more slowly at the cellular level. But here's the key insight from all this research. These changes only happen when you practice specific, scientifically validated techniques consistently. Random, positive thinking doesn't work. You need systematic approaches based on how the brain actually functions. The research is clear. You have far more control over your mental state than most people realize. But you have to know the right methods and actually apply them. Now let's get into the practical methods that can transform your mental state. These aren't mystical practices. They're scientifically validated techniques used by elite performers, successful entrepreneurs, and anyone who needs peak mental function. First, coherent breathing. Research from the Stanford Neuroscience Institute shows that a specific 4 to 6 second inhale and 6 to 8 second exhale pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system and increases heart rate variability, a key marker of resilience and mental clarity. Here's the technique. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 2, breathe out for 6 counts. Do this for just 3 minutes and you'll measurably shift your nervous system from stress to coherence. Navy SEALs use variations of this technique before high-stakes operations. Second, focused attention training. UCLA research shows that just 12 minutes of daily focused attention practice increases working memory, reduces mind wandering, and improves cognitive performance. Here's how. Choose one object, like your breath or a candle flame, and whenever your mind wanders, gently bring it back. Start with 5 minutes and build up. Third, mental rehearsal visualization. Sports psychologists have proven that mentally rehearsing peak performance activates the same neural pathways as actually performing. Olympic athletes use this technique to program their brains for success. Fourth, the reset technique from cognitive behavioral therapy. When you notice negative thought patterns, immediately ask 3 questions. Is this thought helpful? Is it accurate? What would I tell a friend in this situation? This breaks the cycle of automatic negative thinking. Fifth, energy management through circadian rhythm optimization. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that exposure to natural light within 30 minutes of waking and avoiding screens 2 hours before bed can dramatically improve mental clarity and emotional regulation. These techniques work because they're based on how your nervous system and brain actually function. It's not on wishful thinking or outdated advice. Here's where most people fail. They learn techniques, but don't integrate them into a systematic practice. Research from University College London shows it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, but only if you do it consistently and correctly. The key is creating what psychologists call implementation intentions, specific if-then plans. Instead of saying, "I'll practice breathing techniques," you say, "When I sit down at my desk each morning, I will do 3 minutes of coherent breathing before checking email." Advanced practitioners understand something crucial. Mental state control isn't just about managing problems. It's about accessing peak performance states. When your mind is coherent and focused, you can tap into what researchers call flow states, where productivity can increase by 500%. Here's an integration protocol that combines multiple techniques. Morning, 5 minutes of coherent breathing, followed by mental rehearsal of your day going perfectly. This programs your nervous system for success and primes your brain for peak performance. Midday, use the reset technique whenever you notice stress or negative thinking. This prevents mental state deterioration throughout the day. Evening, practice focused attention training while reviewing 3 things that went well. This strengthens positive neural pathways and improves sleep quality. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that people who practice multiple mental techniques together get exponential benefits compared to using single techniques. It's called synergistic neuroplasticity. The most successful people don't just use these techniques when they have problems. They use them proactively to maintain peak mental states. They understand that mental state is the foundation of everything else in life. You now possess knowledge that most people will never have. While others remain trapped in mental chaos and unconscious patterns, you have the scientifically proven tools to take complete control of your mental state. But here's the final truth. Knowledge without action is worthless. Every day you delay implementing these techniques is another day you remain stuck in the same old patterns. The research is clear. These methods work, but only if you actually use them. Think about where you'll be in 90 days if you apply these techniques consistently. Imagine having complete control over your mental state, accessing peak performance whenever you need it, and watching your life transform as your mind becomes your greatest asset instead of your biggest obstacle. The choice is yours. You can go back to mental autopilot, letting your unconscious patterns run your life. Or you can join the small percentage of people who understand how to harness their mental power. If this information has opened your eyes to what's possible, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community of people who refuse to accept mental mediocrity and are committed to unlocking their true potential. Remember, your mind is the most powerful tool you'll ever possess. It's time to learn how to use it properly. Your future self will thank you for starting today. Don't let another day pass living in mental chaos when mental mastery is within your reach. The revolution starts in your mind, and it starts right now.